Hey everyone. Hey everyone, it's Trinity Baker. I'm a mindset coach and motivational speaker. And I'm joined here in this awesome conversation with one of my friends and colleagues, Mr. Corey. Will you introduce yourself?
My name is Corey Harvey. I am a Stoic as well as a real estate guide. Um, I really focus on helping people um, with the process of buying a home, but I help them in a very unique way. I also really focus on, keeping a positive mindset through the whole entire process because this can be a very daunting process. So,
Mindset is essential for literally everything we do in life. So Corey is talking about mindset and how essential mindset is as a real estate guide, making sure that he brings the energy and positivity and attracts the outcome that's best for his clients. But mindset is so essential in literally everything that we do, like right down to like the way we breathe. Yeah. So we're
yeah.
gonna just to talk about it. Corey and I can have conversations all day long about mindset. And so we're gonna bring you this conversation because it is the beginning of 2025. And a lot of our friends and families and colleagues are all setting goals, resolutions. And so we want to talk to you about what we believe to be extremely effective in making sure that you get the most happiness, the most joy, and the best outcome of your goals, resolutions, desires for 2025. Um, yeah. So let's bring this conversation. And Corey and I both have extremely different perspectives, right? I'm a mindset coach, and he's a stoic. And we want to show you how the two of those really combine and empower you to be and motivate you to be even more of your best true self as we head into 2025.
Yeah.
Sounds
Oh,
good.
it's a very good point.
So Corey, you we were just talking before we hit record, and we were talking about and some of your friends and family have asked you, like, Corey, what is more important in goal setting? Is it like having specific measurable things? Tell me a little bit about what you're talking about.
So a lot of my family members have came to me, and during the this time of year, everybody's doing the New Year's resolution. And they're like, "Well, I need help with goal setting." And I feel like a lot of people really do focus on goal setting, which is super important. Whatever works for you. But a lot of the times, what they put less emphasis on is the purpose behind the goal. They're so focused on, all right, I need to have a smart goal. I need to have, this big paragraph goal. Like a lot of people are like, I want to lose weight. That's great. That's a great goal to have. But the thing is what is your purpose behind losing the weight? Like, is it you want to lose weight for your family because you want to be able to play with your kids when you're older? Or do you want to look good? Like, for example, like one of my goals when I was trying to, better myself and better my, physical body as well as my mindset was to go to the gym. However, my purpose behind that wasn't to just go to the gym. It was to better my mind. It was so I could have a clear mind to help, and show up as the best version of myself when it came to helping others in my everyday career as a real estate guide or in anything. Just showing up as my best self as even a stoic. Because at any point in time, I'm not there to advise people, but I'm there to really kind of exemplify, true leadership. And, you know, I really think that, being a good example for people is definitely more important than advising. So kind of bringing it and circling it back to what I was saying before is like, it's just super important to have that purpose, realize that the purpose is going to drive you. The goal is going to give you direction.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Okay.
And
So one of our colleagues that we're networking with had posted on Facebook, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, was like, why do you think people procrastinate? And
Mhm.
I could ask the same question of why do you think people don't meet their goals? And it's because their why is not stronger than their why not. So if you take the example
Yeah.
of lose weight, you can find a why not to that really quick. Like,
Oh yeah.
I want to sleep in and not go to the gym. I want scroll Facebook and not work out. Like there's so many whys that are literally right in front of us and we are all living them. We can see our whys all the time. But what we're not talking about is how important your why nots are always in front of us. But what we're not talking about is your why. And your why needs to be more than I want to lose weight. Why? I want to start.
Yep.
Why? What are you going to do in your business that impacts? What are you going to do with your weight loss that is going to impact having that longevity, living that long, beautiful life with your family, being able to chase your grandkids around or travel the world without having to be tied down to specialists for diseases that you could have prevented, right? And so it's so essential. And so we talk about like discipline. It's the same thing. Your why has to be strong enough that in the moment you say to yourself, this is my why. And
Yeah.
that's the mindset, right? So we take like you practice stoicism and I preach mindset. And it really is all about up here.
Mhm.
It's focusing on what is going to drive you to your next action in this moment. Now, I'm not talking about tomorrow or next week or next month. It's right here in this moment. We are one choice away from a total different life. And all these choices add up to where you want to go. It's your end goal. So it's having that clarity. When you have the clarity of where you're going, you can focus on your why. But you're right. It's not like smart goals are great. We really have to have mismeasurement so we make sure we stay motivated.
Yeah.
Um, make sure we're staying on track to where we're going. But a smart goal is pointless if you don't know your why behind it.
hmm And I think to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying as well, I think, I wanted to really dive into why people have a hard time with discipline. And I think it's because they start like they go from 0 to 100. And I used to think that that was the way to go. And for some people they love it. But it doesn't, and it's not an approach for everybody. So I always tell people, I'm like, even if you go in, so when I first started mixed martial arts training, I stood in front of the gym for 17 times. I counted myself because I knew that that number was going to be important to me in the future. And obviously I'm bringing it up now, but I stood in front of the gym 17 times before I walked in. And the reason why I did that is because I needed to envision myself going there. And then once I went there, it didn't matter if I went inside or anything like that. I was just developing the habit of going there. And then I finally walked in. I only stayed for like 20 minutes, but I watched the first time. And then I was like, okay, I can start to do this. And now all of a sudden I train 2 hours a day doing it. So it's like you have to start with the smallest things. And even if you're like, you know, under the weather or anything like that, like life is going to happen.
Yeah.
Marcus Aurelius does say that, we don't have any control over outside events. Realize this, and you will find true strength. And that's true. Like life is going to happen to anybody. Life happens to everyone. But the thing is we have no control over that. So, and he's not saying like, be stoic and don't have any emotion to it, but learn how to control those emotions that you have. Learn how to feel differently about the situations that happen to you.
Learn how to take the 1 millimeter shift. Learn how to
Yeah.
make choices regardless of the shit happening around you. Like that is what you need to do. Like people look at people who are successful. We have the tendency to look at people as successful and not see the challenges that they persevered through. But every action, and you and I are living proof of this, is like the actions that we're taking to get to the goals and visions and dreams we have, like we're taking action in really shitty situations often.
Yeah.
Like we're sick, we're dealing with anxiety or depression, like we're dealing with people around us who are negative, we're dealing with challenging situations financially, so many different situations. But what we have to realize is that it's those 1 millimeter shifts, and I'll tell you why the 0 to 100 oftentimes doesn't work. And Corey, a mindset coach, like I've only had one client where I supported a 0 to 100 mindset on an action. And it was a very unique situation where if that client had taken the 1 millimeter shifts and had continued down the, like they wouldn't have, it would have been detrimental to their health. And so
Yeah.
we had a really abrupt shift, and it worked, but we had to do a lot of work together to make that 0 to 100 work. And it was a lot of accountability and support. But the reason that the 1 millimeter shifts work is because if you're someone who consistently you don't drink enough water, like you don't drink water.
Mhm.
We're humans in this world that don't drink water at all. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you say, I'm going to drink a gallon a day, you're forcing yourself to drink water with an identity of someone who doesn't drink water. You're
Mhm.
constantly telling yourself, your mindset and your focus is I don't like water. I don't want water. I'm someone that doesn't drink water. I hate water. And so you're not shifting your identity. Now, if you say to yourself, instead of drinking a gallon a day, I'm just going to start with drinking 1 bottle of water before I pick up the soda or the coffee or something. Now, all of a sudden, you've shifted your identity a couple of weeks in to someone who drinks water. Now, how
Yeah.
much motivated do you feel to drink 2 bottles of water, right? And then you're getting the benefits of that. But what you're doing is you're focusing on your why, right? So I'm drinking 1 bottle of water before I grab the soda or the coffee or whatever the other drink is, because it allows my body to actually use the water, because it'll bring me closer to my goals of being someday someone who drinks a gallon of water, because I'm shifting my identity to someone who drinks water, has that habit of drinking water. And so
Yeah.
then really tying in your identity, you're tying in your why, you're tying in your purpose, you're tying in the vision. And so I just
Love that.
I love that it's all 1 millimeter shifts. And imagine this. If we looked at everything as 1 millimeter shifts, we're on day 2 of 2025. So 363 days from now, there have been so many shifts that add up, and you now are so much closer to where you wanted to be. Where if we
Yeah.
look at the big picture, we're often like falling off the wagon, we're derailing ourselves, we're self-sabotaging, we're procrastinating, because you got to go 1 millimeter little shifts.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's said perfectly. And I think the other big thing, that I want to mention is like a lot of people think that um, you know, I think that they give themselves too much pressure. So like for example, like I used to keep track when I first started drinking water. I used to keep track of how much water I was actually drinking. I used to count my calories. I used to do all that stuff. But the biggest thing is like I made it so it was like a chore.
Mm.
But like I don't need that. I don't need to do that. So now it's like, when you're developing a habit and when you're starting something out and you're creating a habit off of it, and then eventually that habit goes into the next upgrade, which is a lifestyle.
Ah,
I don't even keep track of my water consumption anymore. I naturally need bottles of water to function every single day. And that's when you create a lifestyle out of it. So, I always tell people that, like, when I see my friends becoming disciplined and they're getting burnt out, it's because of the stuff that they're doing, and they're not realizing that that's already becoming a habit and they don't need to do that anymore. And now the next step is to get that into a lifestyle. But a lot of people, what happens is they get tired of counting calories or doing that, and they're almost doing too much work, and it's not allowing them to actually enjoy the process and the reward from their hard work they're putting into things.
freaking men, right? Because I mean, think about just drinking water.
Yeah.
How energized do you feel? Your skin gets clearer. You can see better. Like, just go Google the benefits of water. Like, I'm a
Yep.
former nurse. There are so, like, our bodies are made up of water. We need water to function. So the fact that tons of Americans don't drink enough water, let alone any water, like, there are people that don't drink any water. So if you're listening, like, when you're enjoying the process, like Corey is talking about, you start to realize the benefits that you're missing. There's so many benefits that you're missing. Like, if you are disciplined enough to get up and go to the gym, or whatever your movement is, like, you're gonna, if you can be present in the moment and focused on the journey and who you're becoming and that shift of identity and making it a lifestyle versus this big smart goal that once you achieve it, you're probably going to let go of everything. Um, if you focus on that, you are actually living in the benefits in the moment. And that's really where the fulfillment is, because your fulfillment and your happiness and your joy is not in the end result. We often think it is, right?
Yeah.
And it's not.
No, and it's the process, it's the journey behind it. I mean, you know, it's kind of funny, but like if I base my happiness or base my success off of the results, the discipline, like you're gonna wear yourself out. We were talking about burnout. I was actually listening to a video, it was a Stoic video, and they were talking about burnout. People get burnt out because they create their goals in their head, and their goals are sometimes unrealistic, and what happens is that creates the burnout. A lot of the times people go, oh well, don't work super hard, you're going to get burned out. It's not the work itself that gets you burnt out, it's up here. Because what happens is, for like, I'm in a sales organization, I need 2 sales a day, that's what they say I need. If I don't get 2 sales and I say I need 2 sales in my head, I'm going to get burnt out pretty quick if I don't keep getting 2 sales. So the thing is I need to teach myself that at the end of the day, I'm not going to get 2 sales every single day, and that I cannot get burnt out even the amount of work that I'm putting in, no matter if I get 5 or 6 or 7 sales, because I get the process, and I'm basing my happiness and my motivation, my effort, my discipline off of the process rather than the result, you know? And sometimes you're not going to, I always tell people, I'm like, you're not going to win every single day. But the thing is you're going and you're moving towards the process of winning.
And if you can define winning, we talk all the time about failure. Like, I really don't think there's any failure. I think failure is giving up. I think that's probably the only failure, because
Yeah.
if if you look at winning as achieving 2 sales a day, you're not looking at the other wins that are here for us, like the skills
Hmm.
building, the people that you get to impact while you're making those sales or not making those sales, the conversations that you have, the people you meet, like, um there's so many. I mean, if you're in sales and you're outside, like the sun that's shining on your skin, like those are all wins. That's what we're
Yeah.
here. Like, the journey of life is not the outcome, because really, like, what is the outcome? The outcome is actually death for every single one of us, right? So live life in the moment right now. Right now is a win. Right now, how can you have a win? And a win may look like rest. A win may look like action. A win may look like anything that you define as a win, but you've got to have the mindset of that. You
Hmm.
have the focus on right now, in the moment, in the present, not tonight, not tomorrow, not the end of the year, the big goal. That stuff is used to motivate you, to give you a path, be that like GPS for you. But we got
Hmm.
the moment is where the happiness is.
Yeah. It's true. It's, when I stopped, when I stopped thinking about the result of things and I started focusing more on the process, I noticed that my happiness, my drive, my determination, my discipline started to increase from that. And we were talking about a quote earlier, and I'm going to reiterate it. It was saying discipline is not a guarantee of success, it's a commitment to the process. And success is defined in multiple different ways. I define success way differently. I mean, I used to think it was about finances, all that stuff. Finances could be a part of it. Success is defined in your own way, but the thing is as a Stoic, less is more for me. So like if I want less, I actually have more happiness because I'm not wanting more. I can still strive for more, but there's a difference between striving for more and wanting more. And once I started to change that perspective, my happiness started to increase, even though you start at the bottom of your goal and you just slowly creep that up. You're getting 1% better each and every day. And even if it's something like you were talking about, having one bottle of water, I don't even care if it's a glass of water. Like you're still doing better than what you were doing the day before. Like if you're, you know, trying to eat healthier, don't go off on this diet on keto. Just go, okay, well, maybe I won't eat a sleeve of Oreos today. Like maybe I'll just have one Oreo and then
There you go.
slowly weed yourself off, and just get better, but like don't have anybody. And the other big thing is a lot of people are looking for, I would say, validation of their goals. Realize that not a lot of other people are going to understand your goals. And it's not because they're bad people. It's because they have their own goals, they have their own perspective, they have their own motivations and disciplines. And the only person that has to believe in you is you.
It's you.
And that's the gold about it, is that nobody can take away your goal setting. Nobody can take away and be like, that's completely wrong. Like even me as a stoic, like I don't look at other people's perspectives and go, oh, that's wrong. Like that's a very unique perspective. And if it works for you, it works for you, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And we live in a society of so much judgment. Um, when you can be confident in yourself, where you're going, and recognize and honor the fact that every single person's path is different, we can all support each other. Like we literally can all support each other. It doesn't matter your career, it doesn't matter your path, it doesn't matter your beliefs, it doesn't matter your religion. Like none of that matters if we just accept people and ourselves. And
Yeah.
ourselves so important for where we're going, who we are, making sure we're focused on us. Like that's really the only thing that matters. And we can support so many people. So many people. Tell me, what do you think? What are some of your resources? What are some of the things you do? What are some of the things you tap into on a regular basis to keep you focused on this? Because we have so much noise from the outside, so many people on the outside, intentionally or unintentionally, trying to steer us in different directions. What do you do to make sure you stay focused? What are some of your regular practices or things you tap into?
I think the most important thing to really tap into is finding out who you are at first. And that's a very, very tough discovery. We find out who we are in all different parts of our lives, and I was fortunate enough to find it out so early in my life. But when I found Stoicism, it was like it wasn't like I had to learn it. It was like I already kind of
Yeah.
adopted it or even kind of implemented it into my life. I just didn't realize I was using it. So I think the biggest thing is you have to find yourself. Now, tools and resources in order to find yourself. I meditate. I think meditation is great. Now, if you're not one to meditate, do something that gets you into a meditative state. Now, meditative state could be going for a walk, connecting with nature, um, you know, all sorts of different things. Find something that's going to work for you. I meditate 20 minutes a day in the sauna while I'm working out. And it's just because that's a point in time where you take in a lot of your information. You're very focused, even though your mind is not, um, you're not thinking you're getting all that information. You're self-consciously taking in that information or subconsciously taking in that information. And it's weird because sometimes I'll reflect after the gym and I'll be like, oh, I didn't remember this, but I heard something like this, and it's weird because I don't remember hearing it, but it's up in my head. So even realize that when you're consciously doing stuff, sometimes your brain's also subconsciously taking in information as well. Um, with that being said, I think meditation is probably the biggest tool that has helped me identify my true self. So meditation, um, affirmations are huge as well. I love affirmations. I wake up in the morning and I tell myself, I'm going to the stoic in me has kind of, and I learned this as like a stoic approach. I tell myself that I'm going to run into people who are unfortunate, that are going to get me, you know, emotional and stuff like that. And I'm going to have to be able to control myself in that time. And that's going to show my true strength. But then at the end of the day, I also say another affirmation saying that whatever happened today, no matter if I didn't get my two sales or I didn't do what I wanted to do, that was supposed to be part of my process and part of my journey. And the reason why I get happy after that is because if I based it on my result, I would look at what did I not get done today instead of all the stuff that happened in my life was supposed to happen and is part of my process to my journey to get to that result of success in my life. Um, so I think that kind of circling back, most important thing, meditation, affirmations, and just really like honestly anything else. I mean, anything that leads to who you are as a person rather than what you do. Don't focus on what you do in your life. Focus on who you are because that's going to um, be more efficient in explaining what you do as well.
Mm.
So,
Who you're becoming even more of, right? Like we all
uh,
have people that like reflect things back to us in different perspectives. And that's what I love doing as a coach is like sometimes we have to have that outside person that reflects things back to us. I know
mhm,
a lot of, I know a lot of my beginning of my self-discovery was having a coach to walk me through that process because it was so new, right? We can say things like meditate and affirmations, but like
mhm.
we've got to understand why, right? Going back to like the discipline of doing it,
Yep.
your mind allows your subconscious to speak. It allows you to actually hear your higher power, whatever that is. Um, Affirmations allows you to refocus on what you can control, what's in your ability to actually take control of. Because, like you said, there's a lot of stuff we can't control, and so you've got to have those people that support um, to help you implement these things, right? And like making
Yeah.
you stay focused on your why, because there's so much noise around us that's going to try to always derail us intentionally or unintentionally. So make sure you tap into things like listening to this video. Like we hope that bringing you our perspective, and I'm hoping, and I know Corey is probably will speak for you too, is like I hope that bringing you perspectives together like this will empower you to know that there's no right or wrong way. You can tap into all the resources that are there to help you and support you, but you really have to make sure you're tapping into the people who are here to support you and
Hmm.
quiet the noise that might not be supporting you because you have a choice to quiet that noise,
Yeah. No,
right?
I think that's a very good point. And I think you bring up a very good point of the you just want to make sure and I encourage people to make sure that they're not only just learning these resources, they're also implementing them. It's very important. I just actually found this out myself that when I started to learn about Stoicism, I just learned. Like I just like didn't implement it, didn't do anything like that. And I was like, these videos are doing nothing for me. And then I started implementing the virtues and understanding courage, wisdom, temperance, and justice and how they are helping me achieve, my everyday goals in my everyday life. It's very, very important to just kind of stay on the right track. I mean, it she you kind of talk about affirmations and kind of changing that perspective and changing the mindset. Super super important. And just realize too like I think what I want to and I'm sure Trinity wants to show as well is that we're just everyday people. I hear every single day they're like the David Goggins and the Jocko Willits and they're they're still the same people. They're still everyday people. They just unlocked their true potential, which everybody has the opportunity to do that. And that's pretty much, why we want to show people that like, hey, look, like I'm no different than Trinity. Trinity is no different than me. Yes, we have different perspectives, but the thing is that we just decide to not base things off of things we can't control. Like if I'm handicapped or if I'm this, like I can't control all of that stuff if I have a health issue. But what I can control is that even though I do have a health issue or I'm sick or something at the time, I can still get maybe a walk in. I can still do my meditation. Like life is going to happen no matter what. But the thing is we choose and prioritize our time, and we have nothing but time in this world ever since we're born. It's what we choose to do with that time.
We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Every
Yeah.
single one of us. Every single one of us. Now there's things that we can't control, like we've got to go to jobs, we've got to go, like
Mhm.
there's things that we can't control, but what you can control is what you're doing, right? Like there's so many things in between the times, like, go to school, drop off and pick up. Like you're sitting in line for 10, 20 minutes, scrolling your phone. The difference between you and I is that I take that 10, 20 minutes and I read a book. I listen to a motivational video. I
Yep.
five people and give them a compliment because that makes me feel good and them feel good. And I'm making a positive ripple. Like we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And what Corey and I want to show you is that you have control to completely change your life. And you're right. This is why I do what I do as a motivational speaker and coach, because we have so much potential within us that people are not harnessing because they think it's this big feat, and it's not. It's little decisions throughout the day that make the huge difference. And so
Hmm.
I hope that this video, I hope us coming together and talking about the power of these 1 millimeter shifts will give you some hope and inspiration. I'm hoping that we're talking to the people who might not have set a New Year's resolution or beating themselves up because they didn't set the one, or they set one because they feel like they had to, but they don't have the clarity and the why behind it. Like I hope that we're giving you some inspiration and some guidance on your next steps to really achieve that. And if you have any questions, like please feel free to reach out to us. We'll definitely post our contact information on the video, but we're here to help and support you. You've got two different perspectives, but what's awesome is that it's all the same, right? Like it's all the same. It's power of mindset, it's power of stoicism. Stoicism is a mindset, but you could also like say it's a spiritual belief. Like, I mean, it's all the same things that we're talking about, but you got two different perspectives here. Tap into what connects with you because we're all different, right?
I just want to leave them with something else too. So, in Stoicism, we have a quote that says, "The obstacle becomes the way." And the reason why I want to talk about this with people is because there's always going to be obstacles. I face obstacles every single day. Trinity faces obstacles. You're going to face obstacles every single day. Realize that you can have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It doesn't matter. That obstacle, once that comes your way, if you're being present, that obstacle now becomes part of your journey. And
Yes.
it's so, so important um, to realize that because we're going to encounter obstacles
Every day.
while we're trying to achieve our goals all the time. Obstacles are always going to be there. Make them be part of your journey.
Because you learn. That's like you
Yep.
have to be pupil of life. Obstacles are the lesson, right? If you sign up for college, like obstacles are literally the essay you have to write.
Yep.
It's literally that's what it is. And a lot of people, society doesn't teach us this. And so a lot of people just look at obstacles as I feel defeated. Everything always happens to me. Why I have bad luck when like it's actually a freaking blessing. It's
It
literally
is.
nothing. And I know that this can sound harsh because there are a lot of crappy things that happen in our lives. But Corey and I are having the same really crappy things happen. And so we promise that you can have the mindset and you can have the focus and the perspective of the obstacle is the freaking way. It is. Corey,
It is.
fantastic. This is a great conversation. We hope that we motivated you. Make sure, look at things as obstacle. The obstacle is the way, and it's all about how you perceive things. 1 millimeter little shifts.
Yeah.
Awesome. Corey, how can people contact you and get in touch with you and talk to you and just have some further conversation with you?
You can contact me either, whatever works best. I'm pretty flexible. Via phone, if you want to do email, you can contact me on my social medias. Anything pretty much related to that, you'll see probably on my personal page. I post a lot of Stoic quotes, and I try to have like a little story and stuff to kind of motivate people. I do that every Monday. But yeah, no, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to help and kind of share my journey. I think the most important thing is realize you're not alone. Everybody is going through struggles, everybody is going through obstacles. But you're never alone. And it's very important to share your journey when you're comfortable. Don't ever let somebody force you to share your journey. Just, when you're comfortable and when you're able to actually express that to people, you know, do it because it's super, super powerful.
Absolutely. Same, you can contact me wherever you're comfortable, right? My inbox is open, whatever inbox that might be. Um, Social media, I think, is a really great, like Corey, he shares a lot of stoic quotes, which are very inspirational. I share my own inspiration. I think that social media is really the purpose of social media, I think, is to pass along support, motivation, inspiration, connect people. And I know that a lot of social media is not like that, but we are here to help support you. And I've got my website too, thetrinitybaker.com, where it's always a great resource for some continued information on mindset. Corey, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.